Welcome back, smart mathematicians. Let's do question 2.4. A quadratic number pattern, this one, is a constant second difference of 1 if the sum of two consecutive terms in the pattern is 1227. Calculate the difference between these two terms. We've managed to find what P is in question 2.1. We found that it is 7. We managed to find what Q is in question 2.1. We found that it is 16. We also managed to find that the general term for the sequence in question 2.2 is Tn is equal to 1 over 2n squared plus 3 over 2n plus 2. If the sum of the two consecutive terms in the pattern is 1227, calculate the difference between these two terms. Consecutive terms are the terms that follow each other. So it means we have Tn and Tn plus 1. You see that? Tn, then it's followed by Tn plus 1. These are the terms that follow each other. Like if we have term 2, and then means we have term 2 plus 1, which would be term 3. If it's term 4, then this one will be term 5. If this one is term 10, this one is term 11. So we have Tn and then followed by Tn plus 1. So let's find our Tn using this formula, or we have it anyway. Let's just find our Tn plus 1. And then we add these and equate their sum to 1227. Let's find Tn plus 1. So Tn plus 1, what do we do? Where there's n, we put n plus 1. So it's going to be 1 over 2 times n plus 1 squared, and then plus 3 over 2 n plus 1, then plus 2. Right, we can simplify this. Let me just do this one here. Let me expand n plus 1 squared there. Okay, just know that n plus 1 squared is equal to n plus 1 times n plus 1. Okay, so you say n times n squared, n times 1 plus n, 1 times n plus n, 1 times 1 is plus 1. Then we have n squared plus 2n plus 1. But remember, I've always told you that you can do this n plus 1 when it comes to the square binomials. Square the n there, becomes n squared. Then say, take the sign plus, then 2 times n times 1, which is 2n. And then the last term is always positive, and then 1 squared is 1. See that? And then plus 3 over 2 n plus 1 plus 2. Right, now we can remove the bracket. So Tn plus 1 is equal to half times n squared is half. 1 over 2n squared. Half times 2n is plus n. Half times 1 is plus half. Then let's remove the bracket here. Just be 3 over 2 plus 3 over 2n plus 3 over 2 plus 2. Okay, so that is our Tn plus 1. So we are saying that this plus this must give us 1227. So let's add them and equate these two to 1227. So we have Tn, which is 1 over 2n squared plus 3 over 2n plus 2. Then plus this Tn plus 1, which is half n squared plus n plus 1 over 2 plus 3 over 2n plus 3 over 2 plus 2 is equal to 1227. Right, we can collect the like terms here. Let's start with the ones with n squared, half n squared, half n squared. So what is half plus 1 over 2 plus 1 over 2? This is 1. So this will just give us n squared. And then let's go to the ones with n. Let's go to the ones with n, these ones with n here. There's n there. There's n there. Okay. 3 over 2n plus 3 over 2n. Let's start with the fractions. Will give us 6 over 2n. Okay. Then 6 over 2 is 3. So it's going to be 3n. Then 3n plus n is going to be 4n. So this is plus 4n. Then let's deal with the constants. We have a constant there 2. We have 1 over 2 there. We have 3 over 2 there. You can even use your calculators to add these numbers here. And then we have 2 there. Let's start with the fractions. What is 1 over 2 plus 3 over 2? Same denominator, so we can add the numerators. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 over 2 is 2. Right, and then 2 plus this 2 is 4. Then plus this 2 is 6. You see that? Then plus 6 is equal to 1227. And then let's get our standard form. So it's n squared plus 4n and then minus 1221 is equal to 0. So now we can find our n. We can factorize here or use the quadratic formula. If you can't factorize these two, use the quadratic formula. But the factors are actually 37 and 33. So it should be negative 33 and plus 37. So it's n plus 37 and then n minus 33 is equal to 0. If you want to use the quadratic formula, you can use it. Remember, n is going to be negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Right, your b is 4, your a is 1, and your c is negative 1221. So we can say n is equal to negative 37 or n is equal to 33. Oh, this one is not applicable. Remember, n, I said n should be a positive integer because we are looking at the number of terms. So it cannot be negative, it cannot be a decimal. It cannot be a decimal fraction. N is equal to 33. So it means our Tn is actually, we have term 33, and then the Tn plus 1, we have T34. So it means if the sum of two consecutive terms is 1227, so it means the sum of T33 and T34. Calculate the difference between these two terms. So it means we need to find what T33 is. It's actually a very long question, this one. Right, we have to find what T33 is and find what T34 is and find their difference. So T34, it means you have to substitute back into this equation here. This equation, your general term. So T33 is equal to half 33 squared plus 3 over 2 times 33 plus 2. And then if you put this in the calculator, you get 596. And then you find your T34, which is going to be half times 34 squared plus 3 over 2 times 34 plus 2, which is 631 if you put in the calculator. And then now, what is T34 minus T33 is equal to 631 minus 596. So the difference here between these two terms is 35.